Hello YouTube, this is Insane Monster, and we are here for part 2 of What If Deku Was a Blue Lantern. Now then, I do hope that you will enjoy and that you are liking my videos. Now then, with all that taken care of, before we start, merch links in the down in the description below, including a Discord merch. Well, a Discord server so where you can get some merch. And with all that said, hope you enjoy, and let's get started. Okay then. As Izuku got up, he knew he had some time on the weekend before he had to go meet with Hal for some proper training. Since he told the Blue Lanterns as well as Hal that he wanted to be a hero on his home world, describing what it's like, as Saint Walker and the others didn't know that Hal's planet was like that, and found it pretty interesting. So he had some time to just take care of some stuff. As he walked around, he finally got found by Bakugo, who yelled at him asking, "Okay, nerd, you better talk right now. What was that blue light that blew away the sludge villain and made you disappear? Talk!" As Izuku was thinking nervously, he wasn't sure about how to put it, but he remembered something Hal told him to say. As he states, I'm a late bloomer, or you've heard about the instances where quirks can awaken whenever there's a very stressful or life-threatening situation the person is in, right? This happens to be somewhat of a mixture, well, an element that's placed into the quirk gene that is similar to the meta gene that humans in DC have, that when their life is in danger, the gene activates, giving them powers. Bakugo did remember hearing some stuff on some news in the past that during massive and destructive events of life-threatening incidents, that people who were deemed quirkless ended up developing quirks. So he knew that it was possible. As he dropped, Izuku more or less let go of his collar, stating, "Alright, then what is it?" As Izuku states, "I need to practice with it some more before anything else, to be honest. I'm kind of new at this." Nervously laughing, as he's thinking, "Please buy it, please buy it, please buy it." As Bakugo scoffs, walking away, stating, "I didn't need your help." As he just storms off. While this is going on, we switch over to Hal Jordan, who is in Japan meeting with All Might. As All Might is in his Small Might form, with Hal stating, "Hey, Toshi!" waving over at the table he's sitting at, as All Might sits down, stating, "Hey, you wanted to talk?" As Hal states, "Yeah, apparently there's a blue lantern here now. As in, a Earthling was picked to be a blue lantern. Isn't that great?" With Toshi or All Might remembering what he was told about the Lantern Corps, as he thinks, blue lantern, huh? One that's empowered by hope? As he remembers the blue light that enveloped the kid, Izuku Midoriya, that he's been looking for, as he asks, "Wait, who is it?" As Hal smirks, stating, You'll never believe it. It's some kid with green hair called Izuku Midoriya. As All Might, who was drinking tomato juice at the time, just spit taked, going as Hal stated, that better have been tomato juice, or I'm gonna be pissed. But All Might wiping his mouth, stating it was. Sorry. I take it you know him, Toshi? As All Might states, yeah, I've actually been looking for him. But seriously, Blue Lantern? What even are the criterias for that? As Hal states, well, you already know the one for the Green Lantern, the overcome great fear. As for the Blue Lanterns, they have to be someone who holds a great amount of hope within them, as well as someone who can inspire hope in others. As All Might smirks, thinking, that's what I saw in that kid that day, was hope. As he smirks, he states, what do you think would happen if I gave him OFA? As Hal looked at him oddly, stating, serious? Why? As All Might states, we still don't know if he's really dead. Not only that, there was no body, no sign of the ring, and we still haven't found the battery. Have you? As Hal stated, yeah. But we've also been reading some red energy signatures, which is weird. With the device that's scattering the signature all about, it would be odd. Well, more or less, the signature of the orange battery, that is the main power source of the orange lanterns, having the signature scattered across the world, it makes it to where people on the orbiting the world can't really read other lantern powers, but there's actually been signs of red lantern energy readings in a similar fashion to the orange lantern one, but far weaker. Our best guess is that a red lantern is actually going near the device that is helping to hide the orange lantern battery. That's the only way we can think about it. Plus, there's been reports of a yellow lantern ring coming to Earth as well. As he sighs, stating, and the Guardians are running us a bit ragged, thinking that Earth should be fine without us, even even if there's other lanterns here. Considering all the heroes and superpowered people here on Earth. So, me and the other Green Lanterns from here are actually being called in order to deal with some stuff off planet quite frequently, to say the least. As All Might asked, wait, there's others now? Al smirked, stating, yeah, two others. Guy Gardner and John Stewart. They're good guys, but Guy can be a little bit abrasive, to say the least. As he takes a drink, with All Might stating, can you introduce me to him? As Hal states, oh yeah, I'm meeting him later today for some training. I actually asked a buddy of mine from the Corps to help with combat training since he wants to be a hero. He actually is one of the head trainers for the Green Lantern Corps, so it would work out just fine. I suppose if you want to tag along, that's okay. But All Might smirking, stating, yes, if you wouldn't mind. As Hal states, so you gonna be okay for this flight? As All Might knows what he's talking about. Oh man, that stuff always kind of scares me. without laughing, stating, "Don't worry. The kid was pretty freaked out when he passed Jupiter a- after 1 second of leaving Earth's orbit. So you're not the only one. It's a bit to get used to." As Izuku is heading off to where he is going to meet Hal, trying to get there early, he sees a blonde girl crying and freaking out. This girl is in distress and feels as though that she's about to do something, acting on her impulse, something that would ruin her life most likely. Zuko saw this and asked, "Are you okay?" The blonde girl with the hair bundles stated, "Who are you? Why do you want to know?" He asked, "Well, I just saw you crying and I thought you were hurt." She just states, "Well, you're so interested, then fine. My parents just kicked me out because of my quirk." As he thinks, "What?" Yet he states, "That isn't right. Why would they do that?" As she's not really one to hide her quirk, she states what her quirk is. This being Himiko Toga. As he hears about her quirk of ingesting other people's blood in order to become them. As she's on the verge of deciding to severely harm somebody that she feels like she has a crush on, wanting to suck their blood to become them. As she states, "I just use my quirk to become someone else that I love, so that I can be them." As Dooku hears this, he looks somewhat saddened. Toga thinks that he probably thinks I'm a freak, like everyone else. As he states, "I don't get why they think your quirk would be so bad. I mean, in certain circumstances, you probably would end up in like a spy agency or some, or even working for Interpol. I mean, you could literally become the bad guys and infiltrate them to be more or less a spy. That that would be awesome. You could be a great hero with that, infiltrating the villains and taking them down from the inside. I mean, of course you need their blood, but I don't see why that's reason for you to be kicked out by your own parent." As he was surprised by this, he asked, "Wait, you don't think I'm a villain?" As he states, well, I'm not so sure about the state of our world right now." As Izuku did have it revealed about how big the universe really is and what's out there, as well as someone who is quirkless having a ring that gives him power to be the hero he always dreamt of. He sat down next to her and stated, "You said you wanted to become a person to live their life because it's easier, right? To become a person you like?" He states, "Yeah." As Izuku sighed, being somewhat influenced by the woke, probably the most woke lantern that ever exists, being Saint Walker, from his long talk with him, he thinks, wondering what Saint Walker would say, and states this: I don't think you're trying to become someone you love. You're in love with." As he states, "What? What are you talking about?" Dooku states, I think you just want to be accepted. You your your quirk isn't accepted by those who are supposed to take care of you, even everyone around you. So using your quirk it like that to try to accept it yourself, I guess. And you're also trying to escape being you. You said you want to be the person that you love, but I'm not sure if that's correct. Because I always thought if you, I mean, from what I know from my parents and such, if you want to love someone, you have to at least love your first. Well, love yourself first. And it looks like you're not really happy with yourself at all. That's probably why you want to become someone else, right? As thinks about this, wondering, is he right? I just trying to run away? As he asked, why are you helping me? Why? As Izuku states, you looked like you were hopeless, like you'd lost all hope. I felt like even if it's just a random stranger, if I can help them get a little of that hope back, I feel like I did something good, something I'm supposed to do. You know? As he says, as he sniffles, smirking a bit, saying, "Not really, but thank you. No problem." As he begins to walk away, going to his meeting with Hal, he yells out, asking, "Wait, what's your name?" As he looks back, smirking with that genuine smile of his, stating, "Izuku Midoriya." As he just sees this, he blushes, stating, "My name is Himago Toga. Maybe we'll meet again." As he waves, stating, "Maybe so. See you then. I gotta get going, so bye." As Himiko blushed, it then began getting redder and redder until steam was coming out of her, and she wondered what this feeling was. She didn't recognize it that well, and she felt warm, and it she had no desire to drink his blood or anything, but she had no idea what was going on. As far off in a distant planet, a alien woman just sensed something very powerful, a feeling far off in the space. As she smirked, thinking, "Ah, I believe this is genuine. Let's see if she will accept a gift." As this woman goes over to a glowing pillar that has energy coming out of an opening, she extends her hand that has a violet ring on it, being basically a pink ring and such. As he states, "Now, who do we have?" Seeing a young girl just blushing rapidly and panicking, not knowing what's going on. As he just laughs, he states, "Oh, dear child, it seems as though this is your first time feeling a genuine connection. Hmm. In our past, it was somewhat corrupted what we thought our purpose was, but hopefully, someone like you be good for our core." As he opened the portal, behind Toga opened a star-shaped portal, asking her to come forth, asking her if she wants a place to belong. As the woman who is asking this took a look into her memories with her power ring, seeing the pain that she went through, and the one that she just met, who showed her genuine kindness, concern, compassion, and tried to help her. As she then stated, If you wish to be with the one you care for, come through. As he's hesitant, but he feels somewhat at peace with this. Going through, meeting a woman with odd eyes and skin color, asking, "Do you have a warp quirk?" The woman confused, saying, I don't know what a quirk is, but may I ask your name?" He states, "Himiko Toga." The woman smirks, stating, "Lovely. Follow me if you would." As he introduces her to the home planet of the Violet Lantern Corps. Toga wondering, where on earth are we? She laughs, stating, "Sorry, Toga. Or would you prefer Himiko? Well, we'll figure that out later, sister. But this is the home world of the Violet Lantern Corps. So you're not actually on Earth anymore." Toga panicking, stating, "Wait, what? Are you an alien? Did I just get abducted?" The woman laughing states, "No, no, no, no. We'd like to invite you into our corps." As Toga asked for details, as the woman introduced herself as Rhea and began to explain the Violet Lantern Corps, what powers their rings, what the rings are, as well as the other Lantern Corps, going from the green, blue, red, orange, yellow, indigo, and there's violet. Toga's shocked, asking, "Wait, the violet lanterns are powered by love?" As he blushes, with the woman Rhea laughing, stating, "Yes, you see, each lantern core is powered by a entity. Each entity is a living embodiment of the emotional spectrum that circles through the entirety of the universe. For us, it is an entity that is the embodiment of love. Though, despite what love is being beautiful, the entity itself looks quite, well, terrifying to say the least. This being the case due to the fact that to some people their love may not be accurate. Their love may be false. It may be corrupted or twisted based on the individual's view on it. Given that, and the life and all the life that has lived throughout the entire galaxy, it's not surprising that it does look scary, creating a light construct of the entity. Toga saying, "Oh my god, that looks terrifying. I kind of feel like Ridley Scott is gonna sue somebody." As Rhea is confused by this, but waves it off. This reference is because the entity that empowers the Violet Lantern Corps looks like Alien from Alien vs. Predator. So, yeah. As she just continued, as he presented a Violet Lantern ring, stating, "If you wish, this can be your home. We can help you. You can be one of us." Luca looks at it, asking, "Why me?" As Rhea stated, "I felt a strong pulse coming from you, and I may have took a tiny peek into your memories. I see you fancied a green-haired boy, correct?" As he blushed again, asking, "Wait, what? What?" As he Rhea chuckled, stating, "Yes, I do. Well, for one, I do apologize for looking at your memories without your permission, but it is standard to get a certain type of look into who you are. as Rhea looks sad and a hug Himiko, stating, "Alright, the ones who were supposed to care for you, give you familial love, parental love, they scorned you just for the way you were born, something you had no control of. No one should have to go through that. That young man, I suppose he does live up to his course representation, doesn't he?" As Olga asked, backing up a bit, stating, "Wait, four? Does that mean he is a member of one of those corps you mentioned?" She holographically showed her memories of Izuku, pointing at the ring on his finger, stating, "This, the Blue Lantern ring, the representation of hope, empowered by all the hope of the entire universe." With that, of course, if he sees somebody who looks like they're falling into hopelessness, he would want to help them, to give them hope. He seems like a good boy, and I'm sure his actions more than qualify for your feelings for him. As he blushed again, saying, "Wait, is that what this is? It doesn't feel like what I felt before." As she laughed, Rhea stated, "Of course not, because you don't want to become him in order to escape." She, recognizing something similar to what Izuku said, as he states, "You really did read my mind. That's so... that's an invasion of privacy." Rhea apologizes, but states, "I needed to see who you really were. What I saw was a young woman who was badly hurt by the people who were supposed to keep her safe, who fell for someone who, well, honestly, quickly but understandably, who was the first one to show her any form of what could be." As Rhea asked again, "Would you allow us to have the honor of having you as a member?" Took a look at the ring and remembered something she stated. "You called me sister before. Why?" As Rhea stated, quite simply, all of the Violet Lanterns are actually female, and we consider each other like family, sisters. If you wish, this can be your home. We can create portals in order for you to quickly go home and come back, if you so wish. So, would you allow us?" As Toga extended her hand, grabbing the ring, asking, "What do I do now?" She tells Toga to put the ring on and follow her. That ring is not charged, so she needs a battery. As he grabs one of the batteries, giving it to Toga, he asks, "Okay, what now?" Rhea smirks and states, "Well, it's actually pretty simple. You should already know what to do. You are wearing the ring after all." As he swallows, trying to think, he just feels the need to say something. Something she's never heard before, but knows it somehow. And knows what to do. Puts her ring to the battery, stating, "For hearts long lost and full of fright, for those alone in blackest night, accept our ring and join our fight. Love conquers all. With violet light." As the lantern energy enveloped her, changing her clothes entirely, giving her her own custom uniform of the Violet Lantern Corps, complete with a large violet scarf that partially covers the lower part of her face. Looking around, she states, "Huh, I don't like these boots and this nice scarf, but is it always skin tight like this? I'm not complaining. It's just," as Rhea laughs, stating, "It's fine. Let's find you a room and see how to uh, organize your schedule. Have you decided anything?" As she thought, thinking Zuko is probably going to try to be a hero. If that's the case, maybe I should try for UA. It might be where he's gonna go. As he tells her that well, she wants to accept herself and she wants to be a hero and go to UA. As Rhea asks, "Okay, but what's UA?" As Toga just realized he now has to tell her about everything about Earth. Having a long discussion about this, they get everything settled for her. As the day ends, Toga is given her own room with a comfortable bed as she just falls asleep, thinking, this seems like it's going to be nice. Now then, with that out of the way, we turn the clock back quite a bit. As Izuku is waiting for Hal, and when he sees him, he's out of his Green Lantern uniform and in casual wear, followed by a very skinny man with blonde hair. As Izuku states, "Hal, you're here." Looking at the man, he recognizes him as All Might, but keeps his mouth shut, not wanting to panic. And it caused people to find out that Small Might is All Might. As Hal states, "Yeah, I guess you did meet, huh?" As Hal points to a more secluded spot where they could talk. As once they got there, Hal suited up and created an energy sphere around them, stating, "We can talk on the way. I have a friend of mine meeting us at the Blue Lantern headquarters," as they just shoot off flying. Taking a seat, Hal states, "Toshi, go ahead and talk to him. I'll drive, okay?" As he creates energy chairs for them to sit. All Might sat down, stating, "I'd like to ask something of you, but before any of that, do you know about what's happening with Earth?" As he states, "Well, I know that there's these lanterns corps now and that I'm a part of one." As All Might states, "Okay, so I don't have to explain that part to you. Good. Well, in short, remember my injury I showed you? The one who caused it was someone who had the power to take other people's quirks, using them to his own means, even seeking out the over the world." As he explained the who All for One was, as well as explain he had the orange lantern power of avarice. And even though he was defeated, they couldn't find his body, his ring, or the orange power battery. And that somehow he's using technology in order to cloak it, dispersing its energy signature all across the planet. As Izuku remembered some beeping as he somewhat saw a scan result for marking red energy, orange energy. He asked about the red energy his ring picked up, as All Might states that it was some kind of red lantern that seems to go by the user of the orange lantern, or at least goes by the one, well, the device that's cloaking the battery. We've also gotten word of a yellow lantern coming to Earth, but due to the orange lantern core's main battery being here and its energy dispersed all across the world, it's been cloaking the other lantern rings. Since it isn't the main source of your power, it's overwhelmed by the signature of the main battery of the orange lantern core, meaning other lanterns can't scan for the lantern core of the blue or green lanterns without just getting the reading of the orange lantern and the red lantern. We don't know anything about the yellow lantern yet. Apparently, they're all laying low. It isn't good. As for why I'm telling you all this, and why I wanted to talk to you, I believe you could be my successor. Be more than just a symbol of peace, but as your ring shows, a symbol of hope for our world. And for the danger that, I'd like to give you my power. As Izuku is very confused, reacting the same way that he did in canon from being told this, All Might yelled, "Calm down and stop nerding out! Look, I can pass my power on, and it's simple as that." As he states the name being one for all, Izuku recognizes the wording, asking, wait, how that all for one guy? Does that mean one for all is related? As All Might sat down, stating why I had to fight. Because the purpose of one for all is to defeat all for one. Was cultivated, passed down from generation to generation, to strengthen it much as possible till it got to me. We defeated him with help from our friends in the other lantern. Besides you and Hal, to my knowledge, as per friendly lanterns, there are 3 others. So, in total, there's you, there's Hal, there's 2 green lanterns called Guy Gardner and John Stewart, and finally, there's actually an indigo lantern, one known as Ray Palmer. If you don't know, this is actually the hero known as the Atom. And if you also didn't know, in the comics, he actually got chosen by the Indigo Lantern Ring to become one for his great compassion. As Izuku remembered something he was told about the Indigo Lantern. Wait, isn't that the Lantern Corps that forces the worst criminals in the universe to take the power of the Indigo Lantern to force them to feel compassion for all their wrongdoings? As to reform them? All Might stated, yes, from what I understand. But if someone has enough compassion of their own, the Lantern Ring will seek them out in order to become a member. Meaning, they aren't actually affected that much by the, well, mental effects of the Indigo Lantern Corps. As Hal pipes up, stating, as it happens, the one who had my Green Lantern ring before me, Aventura, was actually the one who founded it. He always knew that the Guardians weren't, well, since they have lived for so long, a lot of them have lost their compassion, even for a single world. If it means the protection of multiple other worlds, they will sacrifice a single one and the people on it without hesitation for the overall peace, rather than saving a single world. Looking back, he is somewhat disheartened knowing this fact, but he smiles, remarking, "But there are guardians that aren't like that, like the one who first started the Blue Lantern Corps. His name is, if I'm remembering correctly, Galvid. But if I'm not, I'm just gonna call him head uh head guardian, since he is more or less the guardian presiding over, and the only guardian presiding over the Blue Lantern Corps." As Izuku smirked, remarking, "Huh, that's nice to know. So if I take this, then I can use it in order to stop this all for one guy as well as to help stop the others? But why me?" Hal pipes up, stating, "It's actually pretty simple, kid. You see, the Guardians, given the fact that the orange power battery is still there, as well as figuring that All for One is still alive, but laying low, who knows what he's up to. The Guardians are focusing on quarantining Earth, at least in a certain aspect, as a way to make sure that he can't leave, nor can the Red Lantern or Yellow Lantern, without coming into contact with a Green Lantern. Of course, it isn't really that obvious to them or anybody on Earth, but the moment they try to leave by flying out of there, they're pretty much gonna be alerted. So the Green Lantern Corps will be able to catch them. As for that, it means that me and the other Green Lanterns have a tendency to be called off-world quite a bit to deal with other problems. Yeah, it turns out Earth is a good place for getting quite a number of Green Lanterns. In fact, before me, there was even one in the 1990s, if I'm not mistaken. Surprising Izuku, as he smirked, stating, "Alright, I'll do it. So, what do we gotta do?" All Might explains I has to train first, especially since if he takes the quirk without a body that can handle it, his limbs will literally be blown off, causing Izuku to freak with Hal, stating, "Jeez, you don't softball this, do you?" But almost stating, "Sorry, I just figured it'd be the best for him to know what he's getting into." With Hal stating, "Fair enough, but still." As they got the Blue Lantern HQ, they were met with two individuals, a Blue Lantern and a Green Lantern. With the Green Lantern stating, "Hal, how you doing? So, is this the rookie you asked me to help train?" With Hal saying, "Yep, that's him." With Izuku extending his hand, saying, "Hey, um, my name's Izuku Midoriya, and you?" As the alien Green Lantern smirked, stating, "Name's Kilowog. Hal told me about you and your goal to be a hero on the home planet. So, he asked me, see if I could give you some training." As Hal and Kilowog are just brimming with Green Lantern energy, being so close to Blue Lantern. Izuku gulps, wondering, and what kind of training? As he punches his right fist into his left hand, cracking his knuckles, he states, "Combat. Oh, and this guy here is Razor. He'll help you fight like a Blue Lantern. But I'm here to help you fight in the terms of fighting other types of Lantern Corps members." So, let's get started. As the combat training started, Izuku tried to blast Kilowog, with Kilowog stating, "Come on, kid, you gotta make some kind of construct. Simple blast won't always cut it." As Kilowog makes a giant hammer, as Izuku panics, getting hit by the hammer, sending flying embedded into the side of a cliff, as he coughs, stating, "Ugh, why am I alive?" With Kilowog stating, "The blue energy surrounding you acts as a type of protective barrier. Strong enough hit will still hurt, but you'll probably survive. It depends on the impact. But, seeing how your ring empowers minds even further, it means I can hit you with a lot more force. But, in certain circumstances, a blast from my ring can end up empowering you in an entirely different way." As Kilowog gives him an explanation, but we'll keep that secret for now for future events to surprise you. As he writes down everything in the notebook, Kilowog asks, "Why are you writing it down? It's much easier to just remember it." Izuku states, "I write it down so that I can organize it better in my head. Kind of like writing it down so I can have like a filing system of it in my brain, you know?" Kilowog smirks, stating, "Alright, kid. So, shall we continue?" As training continued, Izuku got pretty banged up, but kept trying more and more until he collapsed to the ground, raising his arm, stating, "One more time," with Kilowog saying, "Nah, you had enough with me. Time for a different trainer." As he yells over, saying, "Come on, man, it's your turn." As a blue lantern floats down. This wasn't Saint Walker. As Kilowog was walking away, he states that, "I'm gonna go visit Moonface and say goodbye and check up with him before leaving." As the blue lantern stated, "Alright, hope you have a good trip." With Kilowog saying, "Yeah, I know." As the blue lantern helps Izuku up with his back cracking in multiple places, the lantern stated, "Kilowog can be a bit of a rough training partner. So, we'll try something different. More tactic." So, as the lantern backs up, he gestures for Izuku to come at him, as Izuku creates a giant blue back construct, swinging it at him, as he moves his position to land his feet on the back as it swings, and then fires a blue lantern fist going all the way around to strike Izuku again, sending him flying. As Izuku's on the ground again, the lantern looks over him, asking, "Do you know what I did?" Izuku, being a smart kid, remarks, "You you stabled yourself on my bat while it was in mid-swing to give you more momentum power for that flying fist that was going around to hit me, giving it added power from myself, right?" As he smirked, stating, "Good. You seem like a bright young man. So, let's continue with some more hand-to-hand style." Giving his hand to Izuku as he asks, "So what should I call you?" As he smirks, stating, "You can call me Brother... Brother Razor." As Izuku smirks, stating, "Well, thank Razor. So, how did... So, how long have you been a Blue Lantern?" As he states, "I suppose, in terms of order, I would be the third Blue Lantern. But before I was a Blue Lantern, was actually a red one. Surprised, Izuku stated, "How?" As sorry, as Razor laughs, stating, "Well, it's a bit of a story, but the original leader of the Red Lantern Corps behind the scenes took everything from me, filling me with wrath, hatred, and the intent to destroy everything within me. I hated it. I hated that part of myself even more." As Hal and Kilowog took me in, even though I was an enemy at first. Kilowog was a bit harder to get along with at first, but that changed eventually. And when I met someone, I had hope that I would find them. They were someone who was not necessarily born, but created through the means of extracting the main, well, or at least a part of the body of the entity that powers the Green Lantern Corps' rings. I found that fragment. The consciousness was still in it. With some help, we're able to rebuild her body. As he gestures Izuku to follow him, he goes off, landing at his house. As Razor states, "Aya, I'm home." As what seems to be somewhat a mechanical woman with green skin that's glowing right now states, "Hello, it is good to see you. Who is our guest?" As Razor states, "This is a new blue lantern from Earth, Zuko Midoriya." As Aya introduces herself, offering him a drink. As he states, "Sure, I'd love one." Sitting down, he asks, "So, Razor, he's alive, right?" Razor states, "Yes. Aya is a being that was created from a living being, meaning that essentially she is one. I believe it's similar to a term of phrase you Earthlings have. To be human is to be a product of human. In a similar sense, a life form is a product of other life forms. So, yes, Aya is alive, feeling emotions just like you and me. When I went to go look for her, I was still a Red Lantern. The hope I felt to find her drew a Blue Lantern ring to me, and I it accepted me and allowed me to remove the Red Lantern ring without dying. That is the power, a great power, of the Blue Lantern ring." The Izuku being astonished, with Izuku being astonished, he wrote this down in his notebook as Razor laughed, stating, "I have heard about this work business on Earth, as well as your habit of writing down details. May I see?" As he flips through the book, seeing all types of details of different quirks, Razor states, you might be able to make a variant of them using like constructs. After all, they're only limited to your imagination. So, broaden your creativity and you can broaden your arsenal. But, given these notes, it seems as though you have a lot to work with already. Izuku takes his notebook, smirking, stating, "Thanks." As Aya gives him a drink, and he drinks it up. He already told his mom that he'd be staying with friends for training. So he ended up staying in the guest room at Razor's house. As training continued, they headed back to Earth. As Toshi brought him over to a beach, stating, "Well, since Kilowog and Razor are training you physically, and not only physical aspects, but technique, I believe I can help you with control," gesturing at Dagobah Beach and all the trash. He remarks, Your goal is to use your blue power ring to disassemble every trash here, separate it, and have it tossed. Do it to the entire beach in the next 10 months, and we'll take it from there. Once you clean the beach, given your body is already fairly muscular, I believe you should be done before the 10 months. But I can at least give you training in controlling energy. It's somewhat similar to One for All, having the power course through your body. I haven't experienced it myself, but maybe it's somewhat similar to the power coursing through you when using the Blue Lantern Ring. So, let's see how you do. As he uses the Blue Lantern Ring to create an energy construct lifting up a car that is there. Because, of course, they're gonna toss away a car on the beach for some reason, like they tossed off a giant gathering of shelves and such. As he uses it, making different screws, wrenches, and such, taking it apart and separating everything. As time went by, he began his training, focusing more and more, gaining better control. As for training with Razor and such, Kilowog still went full force, making him lose quite a bit of bouts and increasing his strength tremendously. As Razor taught him to take advantage of any mistakes or moves that his enemy makes, to recognize it as fast as possible, while also being even faster to take advantage of it, since it would be a fine way of combat for him. As he trained so hard. As for the Violet Lanterns, they actually helped Toga with her somewhat problems involving her quirk. They tried to help her see that it was a natural part of her, that she shouldn't just see it or accept it as something people would just scorn. It's a part of her, so she should accept it. This being somewhat like therapy for her, since due to her parents, due to her family more or less being in a position of political importance, having Toga and her blood assassin thing sending her to therapy would look bad for them in the eye of the public, being a member of the politician career and such. So they didn't. They just scorned her and didn't even try to help, while her new sisters in the Violet Lantern Corps did. Of course, everyone else that was trying to get into UA are practicing and training to become stronger and stronger in order to get into UA. As this happens, we look at Izuku, who finishes up the beach in 5 months, taking apart all the trash, sorting it with his constructs, getting up to doing so to about 5 different items at a time, which is impressive to say the least with such concentration without breaking anything. With that, All Might walked up to him and stated, "You have done well, and you have done me as well as your Lantern Corps proud," as he plucks his hair, stating, "Now it is time." Revealing his hair, stating, "Now eat this," with Izuku panicking, asking, "What?" and being forced to eat it. Coughing it up, well, at least coughing like he's gonna cough it up, he does swallow it down, forcing it down with some water. As he gets an alert on his ring, stating that, with Razor stating, "Izuku, come to my coordinates. I could use a hand." As Izuku states, looks like my first mission is here. I guess you told Hal? With All Might smirking. Yes. I told him that you'd probably be done yesterday. So it's most likely he told the others. As Izuku shoots up and goes soaring into space to meet Razor, as well as Kilowog, who are fending off against some really ugly creatures that are trying to attack and burn down a village of aliens that, well, these creatures more or less spit fire. So their homes are on fire, and they're doing their best to try to keep the entirety of the village intact. As Izuku asks, "What's going on?" Razor states, "We need to save these people, and we need to do it quickly." As he looks around thinking, "Okay, I have an idea." As he sees the dam that is nearby, somewhat crude in comparison to what humans have today, but still functional, made out of wood. He tells Razor and Kilowog his plan, with Kilowog stating, "That's crazy, kid." As he looks over on the other side of the village, seeing a cliff a bit of the way from the village, stating, "But it just might work." As Kilowog goes over to the dam, Razor and Izuku uses their rings power in combination, pushing back a wall that protects the inhabitants, who seem to be a type of feline-like aliens, and push back the fire-spitting creatures. As Kilowog gets there, looking back, seeing the wall, he states, "I hope you know what you're doing, kid." As Kilowog destroys the dam, surprising the inhabitants of the village with them yelling, "Are they going to kill us and these beasts?" With the water flooding towards them, it begins to hit the wall. With such pressure, it becomes a strain for them to hold. With Izuku and Razor having trouble holding it, with so much water coming at them, and even a good amount starting to go over the wall as it pushes all of the creatures back, sending them off the cliff. Though they still need to endure this. With Izuku stating, "No, we will succeed. We have to save them, no matter what." And Izuku looks with glowing eyes, stating, "No matter what, we will save them." To use more power, he says the Blue Lantern Oath, stating, "In fearful day, in raging night, with strong hearts our souls ignite," as Razor joins in. "Our souls ignite. When all seems lost in the war of light, look to the stars, for hope burns bright." With a large burst of light, the wall begins to change, turning into a dome with multiple holes in it. But these holes lead into a small type of pipe that goes into an area that has a shower head like attachment. As the wall reforms into a more streamlined form, as a larger wave comes, they are able to withstand it more due to the streamlined form of their new barrier, as the holes they made in it allowed water to flood in, showering the village, putting out the flames. Once the water finally ended, Izuku fell to his knees, panting, remarking, "That was exhausting. But we did it," as he smirks. An elder seems to have seen Izuku, as he seemed to be the one who came up with the plan. as well as the one who wouldn't give up, to save all of them and put the flames out that was burning their homes. The elder asked, "Young man, why would you do something so reckless, and something that would threaten your life like that? You seem like nothing but a young cub of your kind." Izuku looks at him. He states, "Well, even if you guys aren't part of my own species, you were in trouble. You needed help. And while a dam can be fixed, you can't fix the loss of life. So, I figured the best option was to protect everyone here in the village, even if it was so risky. And I'm glad that you're all safe." As the elder smirked, with his white hair covered arms, he hugged Izuku, stating, "Thank you, young man." As this old man is actually pretty physically strong, lifting up Izuku, stating, "Our saviors, and this brave young man that came to help them have saved our home." As their village cheered, yelling out, "Hurrah, hurrah!" for the Blue and Green Lantern Corps, as they offered them a feast. Izuku, due to his stay with Razor and Aya, ended up becoming more accustomed eating alien food, even the ones that seemed like they were still alive, although at first it was, well, tricky to say the least. But he became more used to it, as he welcomed the food, though he did scan it with his ring in order to make sure it was edible. Luckily it was. After that, he returned to All Might, and All Might asked, "How'd it go?" He smirked, stating, I I became a hero on a whole nother planet. Not exactly the way I saw it going, but I'm happy nonetheless." As All Might smirked, stating, "So, let's see what you can do with One for All now." As he tried to feel it, taking off his power ring and putting it in his pocket, he tried to feel One for All, feeling a surge of power going through his body. Due to the fact that he was able to more or less use the Blue Lantern energy through his body, he has an understanding of the flow of power, gathering it across his body, keeping a balance. As he reels back a fist and throws it at the ocean. This does make a good amount of wind pressure, but not as much as 100% or 20%. As All Might looks, stating, I say that's about 10%, with Izuku stating, 10? Really? I'm only 1/10 of the way there of controlling it? As All Might smirked, stating, "It's fine. It's a good start. Plus, if it's needed, we could probably find support gear to, well, support your body to handle it much better. But until then, you should focus on your studies. It looks like you do have a good grasp for the practical part of the UA test. However, you still need to be capable of being able to pass the written exam." As he remarks, "Yeah, I know, I've been studying like crazy. And I won't fail you, All Might." With a big smirk on his face, he's excited to have his physical training for One for All done. Though he still has to go on the weekends in order to train with Kilowog and Razor, which does exhaust him quite a bit, since Kilowog was told by Hal not to let up, as he did not. Izuku got slammed into many cliffs and mountains, and the ground. Like a lot. Though he did get more and more hits in on Kilowog as time progressed. As Kilowog states, huh, looks like you're getting so much better, newbie. I gotta admit, you Earthlings seem to be quite the tenacious bunch. With a hearty laugh, he pats Izuku on the shoulder, offering him a bite. As they go off and eat. As for Toga, she does keep up with her studies, as well as combat training and control. As she shows off her natural agility to the others, they are impressed, remarking that she should use a more fluent style of fighting. And maybe make light constructs that also complement this. As he does think about this, he trains hard to make light constructs and train with them to use them properly. As they and everybody else is getting prepared for UA. Though Hal did end up going to UA due to the fact that All Might asked him to explain Izuku's unique position, as well as their unique position in the current state of things in how things are in terms of Lantern Corps. As he does have some missions coming up that he'll be off planet for, as well as Guy Gardner and John Stewart. So he asked a friend of his, Ray Palmer, to check in on Izuku every now and then. As he remarks, Nezu just states, "Oh, the Atom, correct? Yes, I've heard about him, but I never knew about all this. Fascinating. Who knows? Maybe I should ask him to be a combat teacher for UA. Might be interesting. If he is one of these Indigo Lanterns, as well as having the capability to shrink down to micro level, I'm sure he will be a great assistant in the future." As everything was set, just in case there was a bit of a panic, to make sure that Nezu was informed and such. So, with all that taken care of, this role will be ending this What If for now. I do hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And as for the future of the What Ifs that will be coming up, I do recommend that you go watch the recent update video. So, before we go, remember to hit that notification bell, set it to all, so that you are updated for all my videos that will be coming out. Do hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.